bet.
Good afternoon, guys. Everybody join in. Everybody knows the routine. As you click in, go ahead and hit the hashtag 25K Crappie Connection. And we've got a special show tonight. Can't wait to get it going. We're going to let a couple people join us before we really dig into too much. But we kind of started talking just then about our weather. So, Wade, we'll actually start with you when it comes to the weather and see what it looks like for your forecast right now.
Well, right now the forecast is going to be up in the high 40s and probably the whole week. I think the rain's going to set in here for the next few days, but it's going to be a lot better.
Yep. What about you, Dust Ash?
Yeah, I was waiting for that hashtag Dust Ash to come on here. I worked too hard for this mustache not to get that hashtag Dust Ash. But no, the rain he's got, we kind of just got through with. So everything, we got a ton of water. And then now that everything's thawing out, it's just like a mud bath almost out here now because you had all that ice just thawed out, all the snow thawed out, and then we got 2 days straight of rain. So we're super wet and swamped over here. But the weather is finally warm enough that you're not just hurting to walk outside or do anything. So that's good. And the lake ought to be thawing out good enough to fish here in the next couple of days. It will be green light. It'll be go time. And I'm excited. I'm planning on going this weekend for sure, but I don't know if I'm excited.
You know, I think today we probably got in the 60s. It was a lot warmer, like you said. Last week was the Arctic cold. It was cold everywhere, I think.
Yeah.
We got rain moving in tonight, and it's supposed to rain the next 2 days, and they're calling between 5 and 7 inches, which I've been actually looking forward to a lot of rain coming in the reservoir to get us some current going. So any guys that have watched me talking the last 3 months, I've been begging for some current to come in this lake to get things really fired up for us. So I'm actually excited for the rain, and I'll be happy to sit back the next 2 days and watch it rain. And another thing I did today, and I filmed it. I haven't got it, of course, processed or anything else. But, you know, I kind of thought about things, and I said, this forecast looks like it's going to be a rainy week. Not going to be able to do any guide trips or anything. So I actually called a buddy of mine, Michael Sylvester, with custom lithium batteries and said, hey, man, I need a box that I can put my black box in, a lithium battery, and I want to set up my live scope before I can go fish off a pier. And we did that all day yesterday. He made me a really cool setup, portable setup that literally now I can take anywhere with me, and dropped it off the edge of the pier. First place I looked and turned around, and there's hundreds of crappie on the screen, and had a fun time just fishing off a pier today. And it's probably why I'm gonna get up early in the morning to go do it again.
That's good. You did have a good time then.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of took me back to 20, 30 years ago. Mine's the live scope part, but as far as just standing somewhere in jig fishing, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, everybody says this is about like playing a video game, and today was, but it was so much fun, and it got to fish up underneath a big canopy, didn't have to worry about the rain hitting me or loading the boat out, so it was really a nice day for me, and I'm going to do it again tomorrow. But
my favorite part about that doctor.
Did you do it all at Ross Barnett?
All on Ross Barnett. We've got a few piers here, and I actually went to them and told them what I wanted to do, and they was like, yeah, man, we'd love for you to go do that. So I'm going to take advantage of it this week while I don't have any trips, and the weather's kind of nasty, and I'm going to go fish off a pier all week.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I like that part of fishing just due to not having to have the boat control. You don't have the stress of running your boat, unloading it, doing all that. You can just walk out there and fish right on top of them. And that's like you really do feel, like you said, the video game, because you're sitting this time literally right over it and nothing's moving. Them fish are just sitting there. You don't have to watch nothing. That's a good time. Ken Robertson said that.
But it's pretty relaxing now.
Yeah, I was by myself. I didn't have to worry about clients or, you know, how many fish I caught today or anything like that. It was just me out there, and I actually didn't even notice my phone, and I looked back a little while later, and I had like 20 missed calls and text messages and everything else. But I was like, man, I got so involved just in fishing, and man, it was just a great day for me. But we got a special guest this week. I've been knowing Wade, I don't know, I'm going to say over 10 years. Met him at Grizzly Jig, went up there, but Wade, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your history here, and for the folks that might never heard of Grizzly Jig, and that might be the first night.
It may be the first. My name's Wade Mansfield. I'm the co-owner of Grizzly Jig Company in Crothersville, Missouri. We've pretty much, my father and I, we both fished crappie tournaments for years. At one time, Big Lou and his partner held the all-time tournament record from 98 up to about 2001 or 2, whenever they changed the amount of crappie you could have from 10 to 7.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. But I'd still count that as a record in my book.
Oh, most definitely. But, Grizzly Jig itself, it's like the superstore for us crappie fishermen. And there's guys that come from all over the United States to the show that's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
And I know it starts February 1st, goes through the 4th. This is the one time of year that you get to see all these different professional crappie fishermen in one spot. I know we all come in there. We all want to have a good time. There's no competitive atmosphere. There's just a lot of good fellowship. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you personally, this is the one that I look forward to seeing all my buddies, and from different guides to tournament guys to just the regular fishermen that come in there every year.
Right.
I know one of the interesting things.
And it's really,
how many different states last year did people attend come from?
Oh, we've had over 30 states many times. I think back in 2020 was when we had probably the most states ever. And I think it was because of COVID. There were so many people that were tired of sitting in the house. They were ready to get out. And they all came in, and we just had a big time. I mean, it's not many places that you can come and see 30 or 40 different pros, another 20 or 30 guides. I mean, from all over. I'm talking about Oklahoma, Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia. I mean, they come from all over, and it's almost like it's become more of a reunion every year, where everybody comes in to see their buddies that they hadn't seen, that they fished against in other tournaments all over the United States.
For sure.
Yeah. Dustin, I know you said this is the first time you'll be able to go to the Grizzly Jig, huh?
Yeah, I'm excited. I tried to make it last year. The weather was total bunk, but I'm definitely trying to make it this year. And I'm excited. I'm super excited because all I've heard is good things about it. And like Ken says, he just says it's like the Disney World for crappie fishermen. You walk in there, and there is literally everything from one end to the room to the other, including, like you said, everybody known for crappie fishing or does anything to do with the outdoors on that. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to kind of getting in there and hopefully meeting some new people, learning some new things. I'm excited. Anything to do with that kind of business, I'm pumped about. So
I assure you, you're going to learn something from somebody. Yeah. I mean, everything from the other pros to the guides to even local guys that have different techniques. I mean, you're going to meet so many people.
Yeah, whether it's a good thing or bad thing, I'll learn something.
That's for most definitely. So, Wade, I know I talked to you last week a little bit, and we were talking about even, the show schedule. And that's one of the things that I wanted to discuss tonight. Kind of what's the show schedule, and you can start out that Thursday and kind of progress through actually the 4th. And tell us what you got going on up there at Grizzly Jig, 1st through the 4th.
All right. Well, we can run through it real quick. I'm getting ready to have them post it on Grizzly Jig's Facebook here in about a minute or two. And but we're really going to start out. The actual show starts Thursday, February the 1st. And it looks like we're going to start out about the first seminar will be at 2:00 with Whitey Outlaw. He's with Catch the Fever. He's a South Carolina pro. He's been fishing tournaments forever. He does a little guiding on the side. Tremendous fisherman. Mm-hmm. He's very knowledgeable. He's been in the sport for a long time. Also, we're going to have Tommy Ezel at 3:00. He's a Texas guide. He's another guy that's just full of different techniques and stuff. Not only using the baits that he uses, but he's good with a live scope. He does have other presentations that he used that some of us are not used to. But Lake Fork produces different kind of fish, just like Ross Barnett. And then we'll end up at 4:30 on Thursday night. We got Fisherman's Night Out with all the B&M pros. And there'll be also some hors d'oeuvres where everybody can sit around and talk crappie fishing. A lot of the B&M pros, you're going to have Russ Bailey, Ronnie Capps, Steve Coleman, Charlie Bunning, Kirby Ham, Joe Harris, Kent Driscoll, Chris Mans, Les Smith. And you know those guys. I mean, you talking right there just in that lineup for Thursday night just to sit down and eat. There's going to be 20 or 30 different styles of crappie fishing all at one table.
Yep.
There's definitely a lot of crappie knowledge just in that one day, the first day of Grizzly Jigs is thrown out. And I know you even get a heavier lined up as you progress through the weekend. And
as it progresses, because there are a lot of guys that still work for a living.
Yeah.
They're going to have to work Thursday. They're going to take time out of their schedule and they're going to drive down either late Thursday night so they can be there Friday morning. So we'll have people coming in all night. And a lot of times, when we talk about the schedule and we're talking about every hour that we have a different seminar and stuff, but those pros are still there like all day. I mean, you could hem them up in the corner. I mean, I know you've had hundreds of people back there at the Crappie Connection just sitting there talking about Ross Barnett or other lakes or stuff down in Mississippi.
Like I said, it's a great deal. And like I said, you can meet everybody just about that's in the crappie fishing is going to be there at one time or another. Like we've got Thursday. Let's hear about Friday.
All right. So Friday, we're going to start out. The store opens at 7:00 and we're going to start back out at 8:00 in the morning with Tommy Ezel. And then 9:00, we're going to have a big Q&A with TJ Shands, Patrick Stone, Eric Cagle, and Carlos Lewis Willis. Which that group of guys right there, guiding time on the water.
Hard to beat.
Them boys are putting some crappie. They're putting some crappie in the boat. Yeah. And then it looks like 10:00, we're going to have a special guest. Jimmy Houston's going to come in. He'll do a seminar at 10 on Friday. And then we'll have Chris Mans at 11 with David Jones. 12:00, we got Charlie Bunning, Mike Baker, Brad Whitehead. And then at 1:00, we're going to have Jerry Hancock, Todd Huckabee, Kyle Ward, and Dustin.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, that's news to me, but I'm excited for that one. Sweet.
And I think your old buddy Robert Roberts is going to be there with y'all, isn't he?
Oh, even better. Old WSD.
Yeah, WSD will be there. And then
Lab Daddy.
After we get through them, then we'll looks like 2:00 we'll hit Wally Marshall. And then 3:00, Whitey Outlaw. And then 4:00, we'll have Joel Harris, Kent Driscoll, and Les Smith. And then at 5, we'll have Ronnie Capps and Steve Coleman.
Perfect.
That's another really good day right there.
I've seen a ton of comments. A lot of people looking forward to this trip. Somebody on there said they save all year for this trip. They save up all year.
There's tons of guys that they even take their vacation. Used to back before they moved the Super Bowl, it still kind of fell in duck season.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of those customers that you see that are from like New Mexico and stuff like that, they schedule their duck hunt on Reelfoot and the show at the same time. So they duck hunt in the morning.
Smart.
And then at lunch, they come over and spend the afternoon at the show.
That's an epic day right there. That's perfect.
Well, I mean, you kill 2 birds with one stone.
Yeah,
literally.
And talk some fishing. That ain't no better.
I got a question up here. And like I said, guys, you got any questions for Wade about Grizzly Jig? Shoot them on the comments, and I'll make sure we get them to him. But do you guys still have a catalog? I got this comment right now.
Yes, we do not have a published catalog. Ever since COVID, we had supply chain issues, pricing issues. The biggest thing of printing that catalog, once you print it and put it out there, it has to be good for the year. And our biggest issue is getting pricing locked in for the whole year.
Got you. I see another question there asking about this tournament weights on Ross Barnett this weekend. I know Magnolia Crop Club has a tournament here. You know, I kind of give my throw out into it. The lake's definitely got some great fishing. It's probably Barnett's going to be on fire this year. There's no doubt in my mind. It kind of depends on the weather and the current, but I think you could shoot out 15 to 16 pounds for the winter.
That's a heck of a sack right now, no doubt.
All right, we got the Friday afternoon there. Let's go into the Saturday.
Just keep on rolling.
We're hitting Saturday. All right. So Saturday morning, doors open at 7 a.m. We're going to have breakfast with Wally Marshall. So when you come in at 7, they're going to have donuts, biscuits, gravy. You're going to have to sit down and eat a big old breakfast and listen to Wally tell you about crappie fishing. He'll be there ready to go. And that's all sponsored by Rathers, Strike King Lose. And then 9 o'clock, looks like we got Frank Heideshak, Brian Young, and Tim Howe in a Q&A. And then at 10 o'clock, we got Todd Huckabee, Jerry Hancock, Callie Ward, and Dustin again. He's putting it on him now.
Mm-hmm.
And then 11 o'clock, Les Smith, Chris Mann, John Mayo's going to make it down, one of the guides down there in Mississippi. And then we'll have Wally at 1 o'clock, and then Tommy Ezel at 2. And then 3 o'clock, we got Brad Chappell and Brad Whitehead in a Q&A.
There he is.
And then we have David Jones, Charlie Bunning, and Steve Coleman at 4. And then Joel Harris and Russ Bailey at 5.
Man, that is a full day of nothing but wisdom.
As far as lodging goes, I know you've got some hotels in that area. Do you know if there's any lodging left for people that still want to kind of make plans to attend the show this year?
Well, when I checked with Drury and the Farmstead, I think the Farmstead had a couple of rooms left. And the Drury at that time, which was probably 3 or 4 days ago, they still had 3 or 4 rooms left. There's still other places to stay. Those are just the 2 hotels that offer a discount that kind of help the people out when they come down. There's also other hotels in Hayti. It's just they just seem to raise their prices instead of lower them.
In order to get the Grizzly Jig Show discount, when they call these 2 hotels that you're referring to, what do they need to tell them?
Yep. They just need to tell them that they want the Grizzly Jig Show discount, and they'll apply it right then.
That's easy enough.
You bet.
I know. Let's talk a little. I don't want to go ahead and throw out Sunday yet because we'll blow through it real quick. But the history of Grizzly Jig, what is it really? How did it start out? And I remember the story, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know it.
Well, originally we started out in our garage, and we moved from there. Big Lou used to be the facility superintendent of the shipyard there in Crothersville. And at that time, the shipyard had shut down. So we just decided we had a side business. It was kind of making money. So we just kind of decided to go ahead and let's throw all our eggs in one basket and let's see what it does. And it's been going ever since.
Yeah, I know. How many years have you been in the new building now? And what's the difference in square footage between the old and the new you got?
Oh, there's definitely a big difference. We probably went from like 30, 40,000 square foot total to 144,000 square foot total. It was a big transformation going from the old store into the new store. Well, back at the old store, the first Crappie Connection podcast was in the warehouse.
Yeah, cold too.
Right next to our tip bin.
That's right. And all the rods were right there on the other side too. And during those recordings, we'd have people come back, and because you were selling so many rods that day, they would come back there and pull rods for customers and go back out there. I know Charlie Bunning, he had to jump on the podcast about 50 different times because he was pulling so many rods he sold during that show there. But you know, and I think of Grizzly Jig, and you think about the history of crappie fishing. You guys are ingrained in it in my mind, and you know, for somebody getting into the sport of crappie fishing, and you really want to ask a lot of questions, and you're going to get a whole variety from pros, from, like you said, from Texas to Oklahoma to, you know, South Carolina to Alabama, you name it. There's going to be some pros and guides from just about every part of the country you can imagine that has crappie in them. And you're going to get a wide variety of answers. And through the years that I've learned is everybody has a little niche and different ways of doing things. It's even like Dustin and I mean, I'm a big loop knot guy. He's not so much likes loop knots, which
there's always I agree with that. Every person that really is into it hardcore always has a different system. I actually took a client out. I think he's been with 14 or 15 different guides, and he said not one guide did something the same. Everybody had a different way of doing everything.
That's all right.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Trying to make sure I got any questions. So like I said, pop them up here if you come across any real quick. And I don't want to leave anybody out when it comes to the actual Grizzly questions here. I see some other questions that I'm going to come back to. Scrolling through here.
You know, really when you were talking about a niche, I mean, that was really the main thing that we focused on. We felt that the crappie fishermen didn't have a place where they could find everything that they needed to go crappie fishing. Right. We didn't focus on bass and all the other stuff. We focused on crappie because our core group, that's really what they were into, and they wanted to see more and more. And the biggest thing that helped us as innovation moved year by year, we were the first ones to get it. We tried to stay on the cutting edge of new products and having them in so that the first time you get to see a lot of that stuff will be at the Grizzly Jig Show.
This question just popped up here, but Chris is asking from YouTube, what is the price of admission? What does it cost to get in a Grizzly Jig?
It's zero. We've never charged, and we never will. Like I said, all the seminars are free. And on top of that, everybody that comes to the store for the show, they're going to get $20 worth of Grizzly bucks, which is basically for every day that they come to the show, and for every $30 they spend, they get $5 off, up to $20. So if they spend $120, they'll get the full 20 off. If they only spend $30, they'll get $5 off. But that's each day, and that's from us.
Oh wow, that's something you definitely can't go wrong doing then. And I know me, even I've got a shirt on, but I can never even leave without having to buy something. And we always talk about, you know, looking at jigs and profiles and different things when it comes to crappie fishing. But you can go in Grizzly this February 1st through the 4th during this big event and meet a lot of the pros. But also, if you're wanting to really fine tune and see what kind of fishing pole you want, you can pick up any kind of flavor of fishing pole that you can think of. But just give me a rough estimate here on how many rods do you have in the store ready for this?
Yeah, somebody asked that.
The last time we counted, we had well over 3,000 different styles of crappie rods.
Holy crap. Not 3,000 rods, 3,000 different styles.
No, 3,000 styles. I mean, I assure you, when you get there and you look in the warehouse, it's just, I mean, it's probably 40 yards long, and it's nothing but crappie rods stacked up.
Man, I seen a comment here earlier that said if Grizzly Jig don't have it, you don't need it.
Well, it's probably not out there.
Well, we try, but I get a call every day for something that I don't have.
Ain't that funny?
Let me get in here.
Someone asked if do you have a printout schedule of the seminars when they grab one when they get there? Is there a printed out schedule?
Yes, there will be. And actually, here on Facebook, it should be going on any second.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so guys, he has a Facebook page. Is it Grizzly Jig? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, so Grizzly Jig Facebook.
If you look up Grizzly Jig on Facebook, he'll have his Facebook there. Give it a like and then follow it. I'm sure he's said he's getting ready to post the live seminars on the page there, so you could just have it right there. You don't even got to get it in the store, but I'm sure he'll have both.
Yeah.
And I'll turn around and I'll post on the Crappie Connection too on our Facebook page. But guys, from the YouTube side of things, what's the website to get to, and all this will be on the website as well, Wade.
Yes, it's grizzlyjig.com, and it'll be most of that stuff will be under news and deals. So you'll see the printed schedule if you go to the news part. Like I said, we'll have it on Instagram, and we'll also have it on Facebook just shortly here.
I got you. How was the name Grizzly Jig? How did you guys come up with Grizzly Jig?
That's a good one.
That's always, we did a bet one time, and a lot of people think that it has really to do with the bear and all that stuff. But technically, back when I used to tie trout flies, we used a mallard flank hackle to tie flies with, and it's actually called a grizz feather or a grizzly feather, and it comes from a mallard duck. And our first jigs were all made out of duck feathers.
That's awesome.
I see some. Also,
so the bear came along later.
Hey, if you're gonna be a bear, be a grizzly.
That's it.
We'll get through, and we're gonna go through some today's fish reports while we get some more questions for Wade. But
hey, Charles Henderson asked if I got a hug for my birthday. I didn't, buddy, but I'm looking forward to a few at Grizzly Jig. Wade, since he got on here, he don't know, but he's getting one when I see him too.
There you go.
Dustin's a hugger.
Hey, no awkwardness, dude. It's just part of the game we play over here.
I understand.
And Wade said there's another percent. He's got to think though first on like what percent he's going to give off, what kind of discount he gives for a hug. So if you guys go up there, give him a hug and whisper in his ear, this is the discount hug. Just whisper discount hug in his ear when you're hugging him, and then he'll give you the discount he's thinking of, guys. So just remind me that I told you that.
There you go.
Wade, the B&M 75th Series anniversary pole, will you guys have those in stock? I see somebody asking that right now.
Yes, they will be in stock. And also, when we were talking about the Grizzly Jig discounts, B&M's going to be throwing out a ton of discounts out there.
Really?
They'll have it at the show. It'll be the B&M bucks, and he'll have it rated for different amount of poles or how much poles cost. And I know they run anywhere from like it's a $5 or $10 or $15 coupon that you get to use on top of our discount.
Dang, that's what I'm talking about.
I know they had a giveaway last year that was just awesome, that bought a certain amount of B&M poles and bought a cornfield fishing gear mount. But I remember the giveaway, and I know they're doing that again, that I've got it posted on the Crappie Connection Facebook page as well. But there's going to be all kind of specials going on that weekend. And guys, like I said, if you're really getting into crappie fishing, this is a thing that you can go to, and you're going to learn a lot. And you think of, well, yeah, I can go buy a lot of stuff, but also you can gain so much knowledge. And we always preach, you want to learn, you want to become a better crappie fisherman, go out with a guide. And that's true. But the second best thing is get around a bunch of crappie fishermen. I know I see some of the same guys that's been going for, I see them every year, and I'm sure it's the same way with Wade. You see some of the same customers every single year, just like you would see Charlie Bunning every year. Some of those customers are there every single year, and they watch all these different seminars, and I just really look forward to it. From the crappie fishing standpoint, we definitely appreciate what you guys do at Grizzly Jig and putting on this event. And man, I can't wait. It's gonna come here real soon. And I thought about doing this show next week, but the more I thought about it, and I was like, well, if I did it the Tuesday before, people might not have time to actually
set up their
schedule to get up here and actually go to the show. But like I said, the show starts on the 1st, and goes through the 4th. Every day has a different lineup of seminars. We're going to go ahead and knock you out with a Sunday seminar schedule, Wade, and let us know what you got going on Sunday.
All right.
Real quick though, Brad, are you
Sunday,
bringing your hoodies and stuff, the new ones that you've got, or are you guys still out on those?
No, I'm not going to be bringing them. They're actually already in Arkansas. We do have the new hoodies in stock here.
Okay.
They've arrived, but they're not ready to order yet.
I see the question on there, so I just figured I'd ask before I forget.
I appreciate that. Go ahead, Wade.
All right. Sunday we'll open the doors at 9:30. The first seminar is going to be with Tim Howe and Craig Nichols. And then at 11 o'clock, we'll have David Jones. 1 o'clock, Wally Marshall. 2 o'clock, Frank Heideschek. And 3 o'clock, Charlie Bunning. And then at 4 o'clock is the closing of the show. And we actually, everybody that's left in the last seminar, we start doing all the drawings. Now, we do have drawings that for people that you don't have to be there to win, but we also have giveaways for the people that stay for the end of the show and the last seminar. So usually everybody leaves with some prize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and I'll put this out there. As far as the seminar that I'm going to do, I think you said, 3 o'clock Saturday, if I'm recalling right?
Mm-hmm.
We will give away, I'll tell you what, I'll have 5 hoodies I'll bring up there and give away during my seminar. At the end of it, only kicker is you need to be a Crappie Connection subscriber on YouTube and put your name in the hat. But yeah, at the end, I'll have 5 hoodies that we'll let them draw for them during that seminar at the end.
Perfect.
So,
yeah, because every seminar we do, we have door prize drawings. We give away at least 10 door prize drawings for each seminar. And also, I didn't tell everybody, but we're also going to have Thursday through Sunday. We'll also have Humminbird seminars and Garmin seminars.
Sweet. Gotcha.
Now, where were they? Are they going to be in the same area? What part of the store will those seminars go?
I think we're going to try to do both of them upstairs instead of having some back there in the service shop and then some of them up there. This way, I've got them allocated at different times. So if one's over with, you don't have to walk somewhere else to go to another one. You can just stand there, just like we do the regular seminars in the seminar room. So people that just want to go ahead and wait for the next one, they've already got their seat.
Perfect. So, go ahead, Brad.
No, you got it.
Okay, so I was going to say, since this is brought to you by Bobby Garland, this little show here we do, what kind of selection do you have of Bobby Garland baits in the Grizzly Jig? Because it's got to be something amazing to look at, I'm sure.
If everything makes it in on time, we have all of the Bobby Garland products in every color. And then we still have some of their old stock where some of the colors and certain styles have been discontinued that we bought last year. So if there's one hidden color that you know that they discontinued, we probably still have some.
Oh, my goodness. Yep.
Probably not after that weekend.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah,
that's
right.
awesome. Sweet.
I see this question here, and it says, I guess it's more for Dustin, but Matthew's asking, what kind of advantage does fishing with a live scope give you? And are they worth the money? Did you hear all the question there, Dustin?
Yeah, are they worth the money?
Are they worth the money?
Oh, man, yeah. The advantage they give you is being able to, I'd almost say it's like, I say it's fishing blind without it, because you are actually watching everything going on under the water. Now, this is not something that you can just plug in and you're like, oh, okay, I can see everything now. I can catch everything I see and I know what I'm looking at, because that ain't the truth either. But if you take the time to learn it, it's a very valuable tool. It's just another tool like all the other stuff that they've come out with in the last years and years. But as far as how much it helps me personally, it's an absolute game changer, and I don't think I could live without it. But like I said, it's no help if you don't take the time to learn it, and you don't take the time to sit there and trial and error and know what you're looking at. Go on a guided trip with somebody that really knows. Maybe do a little training trip that people do, and get help in that way to save you some time, because it is a lot of hours putting in to try to learn and see what you're doing. I was kind of under the influence when I first heard about it that, man, you have to have it because the fish jump in the boat, but that is not the truth. And you have to learn, just like side scan or anything else. Like, all I heard how good side scan was and all this, and I put it on my boat and I'm like, what the heck am I looking at? I'm probably running over all kinds of fish, and now I can go under docks, beside docks. This was before live scope. I got a Lowrance side scan, and that changed my game. I told everybody about side scan. You can't live without it. If you go by these docks, I'm like, just look at this. I troll by docks with buddies. I say, you see that line of crappie? Those are all crappie. And then if you look, I just, how you line them up in which slip. I'm like, it's back here. I mean, it was just like crazy. And then we get live scope and who knows what's next, but it's just another tool that I definitely would have it. And that's a long-winded answer, but yeah, it's a game changer. Absolutely worth the money and worth the headache.
And I think of the advantage of using a live scope, and it's kind of like Dustin said as well, but it gives you the confidence knowing that you're in the spot that the fish are.
Oh, man.
Prior to that, you might say, well, I know I caught fish here before. They've got to still be there. Now with live scope, probably the main advantage to me is it lets you know without certainty that those fish are actually there or they're not there. So, and I've really figured out through the years, you can't catch them if they ain't in where you're fishing at. There's no way to catch them.
Yeah.
So if you're in an area that they're not that, you're not going to catch any fish.
And you learn real quick too, like when you're dropping on these fish, if they're biting or not. If you need to move on, find more aggressive fish, or if these fish are going to bite, I mean, you can see the bait and everything. So, yeah, you can see what they're wanting. I mean, the list goes on. But good question, Matt. I appreciate the question.
I'm scrolling down here through the questions here, but Robbie's asking, will the seminars come out on YouTube at some point? Probably not all of them. I know during that time when we're there, as far as doing the podcast, I don't know. I try to do about a dozen different podcasts while I'm actually at Grizzly Jig. And also I'll do the seminar as well. But if you got a particular subject line that you're wanting to learn more about when it comes to crappie fishing, whether it's finding fish in a new lake or the basics of using live scope, you can shoot me a message anytime on Facebook under the Crappie Connection or under Brad Chappell or even my guide services. It doesn't matter. I love reading these different messages for requests for podcasts. So I'm open. And you guys now have heard the lineup that's coming to Grizzly Jig. And, most of the guys have been on there, I would say, through the years. But there's a couple new guys that are going to be there this time that haven't been there before. That I can think of right off the top of the head. So there'll be some more.
Frank Heideshak, Eric Cagle.
Oh, man, Eric Cagle, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be a stick on catching.
Kyle Ward.
Yeah. So just for future reference, that way you don't walk up to him and say, it's actually Kale Ward. Kayle.
Kale.
Yeah, so that way you don't go do that. I was going to tell you after the show, but now I'll tell you that way you don't go, what's up, Kyle? He probably wouldn't say anything anyway. He's pretty easygoing, but it is Kale.
Well, the only good thing, most of the guys, whenever I say something to them, it's, what's up, big dog?
Yeah, fair enough.
That's true. Make sure go. Well, definitely, Wade. I appreciate you coming on here. I don't see any more questions at the moment, but you guys can check on here. Check on Grizzly Jig's Facebook page. Go ahead and give them a follow, and you'll be able to keep up with all the great things going on up at Grizzly Jig. And also, if you're wanting crappie products, give those guys a call up. I can guarantee you they know what you're looking for when it comes to crappie fishing, no matter what style, what profile you guys are offer. Man, there's no telling how many different colors and profiles if you looked at all the different crappie baits that you got.
I'm telling
you. I still get guys all the time that take pictures of old baits that they had that they used to catch fish with, looking for something like that. I mean, that's what separates us from the rest of them. I mean, if you call and say, hey, Wade, will you go measure this rod for me? Or, hey, will you go weigh it? How many guys does it have? All that stuff. I mean, when we're talking on the phone, I mean, I'm a crappie fisherman, so I know what you're looking for, what you're asking for. We just got to pinpoint. Sometimes it's hard to do with colors just because some companies, the colors that they used back then had faded. So that color's not really what you think it is.
Right.
If you have the packaging, it makes it a lot easier. But I had a lot of people would have an old Southern probate and send me a picture of it. And I can tell them, he said, I had this for like 10 years. The problem is now it don't look like it did 10 years. It's done faded out.
All right, Dustin, I got a good question for you.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Are you ready to see it?
Yeah. No, I haven't seen it yet.
If you got to choose 5 colors and 3 profiles What would it be? I think it even goes further than that, but I'll shorten it down to actually that question there.
You just say 5 profiles?
5 colors, 3 profiles.
3 profiles. Okay.
So I guess 15 jigs.
Yeah, for sure. I've got them pretty dang close. So this is the Itty Bit Bobby Garland Slab Hunter. That's one of them right off the bat. Finicky fish, wintertime fish. This is a murderer. So that's one style. And that's the fried shad. That's one of them colors too. I'll go with that color. Bone white chartreuse. And goodness, that's so hard. Bluegrass. I'm going to name some of my top colors. Monkey milk, electric chicken, all those. But this is another one. That's the live roamer. You guys hear me talk about that one all the dang time. But that's one of my favorites and favorite color. Pecan cream. That's a killer. And so we're 2 styles here. Let's go. Man, that's a hard one. But if I'm going to choose, I'd probably go with the Slab Slayer. And that is this body style right here. Look, putting me on the spot is what he did. Here's a Slab Slayer.
It's good for you.
In the fried chef.
Keeps him on his toes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Here is the Slab Slayer, guys. And I absolutely love that too. On certain days, it's so slimy with that good old grease on there that I can barely hold it. But that's the Slab Slayer in the fried shad. So there's your 3, and then you got bluegrass, electric chicken, Cajun cricket, pecan cream. Oh, it's hard. I need
go on and say
color.
monkey milk.
Yeah, you gotta say monkey milk.
Monkey milk, white and chartreuse. Those are it.
That's a lot out there. Like I said,
I bet I just covered Brad's mostly too. Besides mud dauber. Mud dauber. You need the mud dauber.
You got to have the mud dauber.
Mm-hmm.
Steve he's asking, what type of sunglasses do you use when you're using live scope? Me personally, I've been using Hook and Bullet, and man, they're actually made to use for looking at these electronic screens. And I've owned every kind of manufacturer when it comes to sunglasses through the last 15, 20 years. And I really like the Hook and Bullets. I've really been really pleased with them, and I think I've had them for about 2 or 3 years now, the same pair. And not talking about a lot of different pairs, but the actual same pair. And I know at one time even Grizzly carried those. Isn't that correct, Wade?
We still carry them. Yep.
So you can even find some Hook and Bullet while you're up there, but definitely the Hook and Bullet if you're wanting a good pair to live scope. You can see these right here, even with this old hat I got on. But I wear them every single day, no matter if I'm crappie fishing or I'm sitting on the back porch. It really don't matter. Let's see. Well, Wade, I definitely appreciate your time. We ain't gonna drag you out too much further, but definitely thanks for coming on here this week. And we're gonna get to some other fishing stuff.
I appreciate y'all.
You bet, buddy. I'm going to totally kill the name on this one. I want to say Chandos Pittman. He said, "What's up, Wade? Good to see you in my neck of the woods yesterday." Pittman was the last name.
Oh, that's all. I was in Kate. Yeah.
Got you.
Also, I see Mark Ruddle.
I don't get out of the store much anymore, so I have to think about whatever I cut out where I went.
Yeah.
Mark with Cornfield Fishing Gear. I know he'll probably have his new little boat set up actually in the area, so you can see all the different mounts that he carries. And if you're looking from a pole mount to one to mount on your transducer for your trolling motor to a fish finder stand to rod holder racks, this guy's going to have them. Definitely a great sport. And
the great thing is he brings that little boat so you can actually use it. Right there, it's not like it's just sitting in a box or on a stand. I mean, you can actually see how it works on the boat itself.
Everybody's pretty dang pumped, Wade. I appreciate you getting on here and giving us the schedule anyway. Hey, we got the schedule before Grizzly got the schedule.
Yeah, we held out as long as we could. We finally got the last ones penciled in today. And hopefully none of them will have to change. A lot of these guys, like I said, they take time out of their schedule to come and help us with the show. And to be honest with you, even like Brad knows, and you'll find out when you get there, without y'all being there, to help make the show work. I assure you, we can't run that many people through there in 4 days with 12 people. It won't happen. And that's why we appreciate y'all. And a lot of people don't understand, but what y'all give back to the customer is what keeps this going every year. Those people drive, they take vacation, they come there. Some of them stay for the whole week. They're there 4 or 5 days.
Awesome.
And it means a lot to them. And I always tell all our customers, without them coming, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the clients.
Well, the guys, it is coming up soon, so mark your calendars. If you can attend, make sure you bump into us. Attend the Crappie Connection seminar or my seminar at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Dustin's, do you remember what time you're going to be on, Dustin?
Absolutely not, but I think it is Friday and Saturday.
I didn't say it'll be posted. So.
You got to be there. All
yeah,
day
we got Dustin at 1 o'clock on Friday, and let's see here, 10 o'clock on Saturday.
Dang, I was close.
10 o'clock, that ain't close. You're way off.
Well, I sure appreciate you, Wade, and I'm looking forward to meeting you and looking forward to the learning experience and all the wisdom in one building. I'm excited, and spending all my money on Bobby Garland baits.
There you go. Well, there's a big selection. You better get a big bag.
Oh, man, I got it. Don't you worry. Big arms, too. Hold all of them.
Bruce is asking, is all the seminars based on live scope? And I can actually tell you for a fact, no.
Yeah. I'd say it's a good mix, great mix.
A lot of the seminars seem like to me you're going to have so many different guys in there at one time. You can ask any kind of question from spider rigging to long line trolling, pulling crankbaits. There's going to be guys can answer
slip corking.
Slip corking, trolling.
And that's the main reason we pair all these guys together, because if you look at it, each one of them has a different signature technique that they use.
Exactly.
And it's just like I tell people when they call and ask me about if it's long lining, I refer them to Brad. You know, I'll tell them what to look for or give him a holler. Because in the sense of, I don't personally long line on real foot. So he would be the best person to talk to about it. Just like pulling crankbaits with Kent Driscoll, or power trolling with Les Smith, or single pole jigging, slow trolling with Ronnie or Steve. I mean, those guys have mastered those techniques, but they can do other stuff. But those are the things that they're really good at. And bouncing it back and forth between a jig fisherman versus a troller versus whatever, you can get all kind of good information just by and some of them will even cross over that you can use both techniques in the same place.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I haven't spoke to Brad Whitehead even about the seminar yet, but I know Brad Whitehead is an expert about side pulling. And I think of Brad Whitehead, I think of side pulling, which is almost like a form of long lining, but with a shorter amount of line out, usually using 2/4, but it's another technique that's going to be talked about for sure.
And basically he's filling in that spot 15, 20 years ago that Roger Gant had did. We brought Roger Gant in and he did side pulling, and you had back then Larry McMullen, which pulled crankbaits and power trolled. These are the people that has refined it over a period of time, because as you know, a lot of stuff's changed in the last 15, 20 years.
Absolutely.
Guys, as you're still watching us, I think we got 140 thumbs up right now between the two platforms. We're going to see if we can get to 200 real quick. I see some of them already popping. So if you have not hit the thumbs up, the like button yet on this live stream, regardless of what platform you're watching, go ahead and do us a favor. Knock it out. Let's get those thumbs up real quick. I see 152 at the moment. So you guys pounding them. Definitely appreciate everybody joining in every single week. I'm planning on doing some other things at Grizzly Jig. Maybe do a couple live streams here or there. It just really all depends on how busy I get. Like I said, if you've watched any of the podcasts that we've recorded before, Wade and the staff at Grizzly, they really accommodate us doing these podcasts for you guys. We have our own little special area that we'll set up, and record podcasts as many as I can while I'm there. So if you've got any special requests for his podcast, let me know before I get up there. And that way I can kind of, like Wade's doing, getting the right person to kind of match in that time slot. Yeah. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to even have Dust Ash back on. We might do a stash episode or something. You never know.
I'm in.
So, but it's going to be a great event. But if you, like I said, if you got a special podcast that you want to see, a guy that, you want to hear from again when it comes to, that's going to be at the Grizzly Jig Show. And also, even a lot of guys will be there that won't be giving the seminars as well. That's, man, it's no telling how many other pros even pop in and out.
Oh, there's going to be another 20 guides and pros that are going to be there. Like Jason Sandage, he would pop in every year for a little bit. I mean, there's a ton of those guys from Mississippi that come up. I wish we could put everybody in a seminar. It's just there's only a certain amount of time in a day, and we cram a lot in a day.
That sure sounds like it. I'm excited.
But we'll be there starting that Thursday. I usually get there about 12 o'clock, and we don't leave till Sunday afternoon. So my seminar at 3 o'clock on Saturday. I'll have 5 hoodies that we'll put you in the draw for just for that particular event. And just be a YouTube subscriber. Also, guys, I think on Facebook, we're nearing 47,000 followers on Facebook. And we're getting to that 50,000. And I think by the end of Grizzly, if I can get some more help from everybody watching tonight, if you just go through there and I've seen a lot of different pages do this in the last month, but I'm going to ask you guys personally, if you're watching the show, do us a favor, hit that invite button, invite everybody on your list that crappie fish. Now, if they're not a crappie fisherman or not a fisherman at all, I want people that actually want to learn about crappie fishing and actually would benefit from being on our page. But go through your list of friends and hit them an invite. Let's see if we can, by the end of Grizzly, my goal is to hit 50,000 followers on Facebook. And I know with everybody watching tonight, all you need to do is invite some of your buddies that crappie fish that are not already liking the page, and we can get there even before possibly the Grizzly Jig Show. But definitely appreciate everybody's support. Really appreciate you guys at Grizzly Jig as well. Thanks for coming on this week, Wade.
I appreciate it, buddy.
I know the stash. He ain't met you yet. He's gonna give you a hug when he sees you, even. So.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, and listen, that hug thing actually works. Brad's got a hold of me a few times on cussing me people going up there hugging him. So you just wait.
Yeah,
it's coming.
You don't seem like much of a hugger, kind of like Brad. You're not. I can read the room a little bit. You guys don't. You ain't real big huggers. I can already tell.
Yeah, you gonna hook him up. I can see that already. That's just you're gonna get on Wade's bad side before you even get there.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking, guys.
I don't think that can happen.
Y'all be good.
Until next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. You guys make sure you tune in next week for today's bite. Thank you for Bobby Garland Baits for doing this every week for us. And we'll holler later.
See you next Tuesday, 7 o'clock.